computer for a second. There we go. Now it's good.
All right, perfect. Thank you so much. All right, cool. So welcome everybody to our December PTA general meeting. I'm Sean. I'm the president of the PTA. Thanks for coming out. I know it's hard this time of year in the holiday season. So I appreciate everyone's time. And we've been doing a lot of stuff over the past couple of weeks. And you know, a lot of y'all have been very active in our WhatsApp chats, which there's like 20 of them now. And just like all the little meetings that people have been having and stuff like that is really exciting to see it all. So I'm excited for people to report in on the work that they've been doing and all the cool stuff we have planned for our kiddos. So yeah, just really quick before we get into it, just so people know who's on the call from the board, we have Kala, who's our sergeant at arms, handling kind of the back end of our Zoom, and checking the chats to see if you ask any questions in the chats. And then we have Chris, who's our treasurer and also the wellness ambassador. And then we have Helen, who's our Title I chair. And then we have Jenny, who's our book fair committee chair. And then we have Maggie, who just joined, who is our new fundraising committee chair. Woo! Shout out to Maggie, making a comeback and jumping right in. What's up? What's up? We're just doing a round of intros kind of thing.
Awesome.
And then of course we're joined by Dr. Cameron, our principal, and Shai Jackson, our parent coordinator. Cool. So let's get into it then. We'll start off first with our principal's report. And I'll reshare the agenda too. Go ahead.
Hi. So hi everybody. Happy Tuesday. I hope you all have had a great day. So I really want to talk today about the facilities issues in our building. So we have, even with the short number of days that we've had, just even sending out that template and families reaching out, we have gotten a lot of responses from not only our superintendent, but the Community Education Council. Today, Ellen actually forwarded an email to me from somebody who works in Carlina Rivera's office, who was trying to find out more, more information around what was going on. So since yesterday, our superintendent reported to us that we would have a full staff in terms of daytime and evening. So today I was kind of looking to see like what's really happening. We actually had a cleaner who was interviewed today for the daytime shift. And then there was a new cleaner assigned for the evening shift. I met her this evening. Her name's Amanda. She was I didn't see both people because we usually have at least 2 cleaners. I only saw one tonight, but there have been nights where we haven't had anybody at all. And this person has been assigned to us from my understanding for an extended amount of time, which is what we need, because we want to be able to train the person to make sure that they're able to do their job effectively at night, so that when we come in in the morning, the garbages are changed. There are new paper towels in the bathroom. There's toilet paper in the bathroom. And so those are just some of the basics that, that we were asking for in terms of just having, cleaners assigned to the building. So stay tuned, because I am going to be kind of supervising closely over the next few days to make sure that these are staff members who are going to be here for an extended amount of time, that there's going to be more than one person assigned per shift. And I'll just definitely keep you all informed. I do think we should continue to advocate because the plumbing is still a concern. So we have a sub pump that needs to be replaced. The sub pump, I'm assuming, has been ordered. We've asked several times whether or not it's been ordered, but we haven't gotten confirmation. We also have been told that because of the supply chain issues that are going on nationally, that we can't get a deadline or a date for when this sub pump is going to be brought to us. But we know that we need to replace the one we have in our basement to fix the plumbing on the 4th floor, which would ensure that we have water to our water fountain, and that our toilets work, and that they are able to flush. And so, right now, those are kinds of the concerns that, we're thinking about. And so right now the sub pump is a priority, and making sure that the cleaners we have on staff are permanent and with us for an extended amount of time are the priorities that we have right now. And so that's why, I'm not going to tell us to stop advocating or writing letters right now, because we are getting a lot of movement and traction, and especially because the sub pump issue is still a concern. So until we have some sort of sense of permanence, I am definitely appreciative of all of the advocating you've done. We've gotten more movement on this in 3 days than we have had in 2 years. So I just want to thank everyone.
Thanks so much, Darlene. And Darlene, two questions. Did we ever get out like a hard copy flyer of the advocacy stuff that the PTA drafted? If not, that might be good to get into parents' folders.
We have not been able to do that because technically speaking, I'm not part of the PTA advocacy. But if you were to give me a hard copy, or actually if somebody were to come into the office and make copies in the copy machine, I don't know what happens 20 feet from me or 10 feet from me. So I definitely would strongly encourage that.
Awesome. And I know you mentioned his name, but I know Harvey, our local assemblyman, when I talked to him last, he said that he wanted to like elevate any kind of letter that we had. Did we send that to him? Do you know?
I did send that to him.
Okay.
I sent that to him actually yesterday, because I saw him as he was coming back from yoga, and I was doing a rival in the morning with the little ones, and so he mentioned it, and I sent him the letter last night.
Okay, awesome. And we'll have more time for Q&A at the end if people want to ask Darlene any questions. We had a couple more minutes, and before we actually get to the new business section, I wanted to see if Mimi, who's on the call, could just give us some updates from UFT stuff. Like we had the action, the red shirt action, and just kind of updating parents, because I know we heard about it, but we might not know the context on why we were sending our kids in red shirts and all that kind of stuff.
Okay.
And I asked Mimi prior, so I'm not putting her super on the spot.
Yeah. I know.
Right.
But I'm just gonna, Darlene's words are in my head right now. So we're gonna go with what we got. So it was really great. Friday, we all wore red to advocate for smaller class size. As a, at Star Academy, we have been very lucky to have small class sizes in recent years. Especially with COVID, we've really been able to, have this kind of continue, but that doesn't mean that this will continue forever. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to really make sure that everybody knows that small class sizes are what's working. So we took pictures of all the kids. We had everyone wear red. A lot of the teachers were wearing red, and we hashtag not smaller class size because that was the wrong one. But we hashtagged to the UFT.
Our kids need.
Yep, our kids need. And we took loads of pictures, and we shared with the students all about, why small class size is such a priority for us, and how, we really can meet the individual needs with a smaller class. Kids made signs. It was a really great experience, and we sent all the pictures and everything to the UFT. As far as I know, we have not gotten a response back yet. But the advocacy was really wonderful, brought the community together.
And there really was an attempt to get Corey Johnson to put up a proposal to actually call for smaller class sizes. And so it really was kind of a direct appeal to him as the head of the city council. And so we are still waiting to get a response.
That's awesome. Thank you so much. Yeah, I know some of the kids were like, I don't want a smaller class. I want more friends. So I'm like, no, 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 no. But you have to understand for your learning experience, it's really important. They didn't get it. But glad we had some in-school education on it. All right, cool. So, all right, so going into new business stuff. So we have the facility advocacy there. So as Darlene was kind of speaking to, we talked about it at our last PTA meeting, and we also kind of had conversation about it at our town hall, where we talked about us as the parent leaders kind of coming together and doing some advocacy work to support the efforts of the school to work on these facility issues. And so we drafted a letter and language. Big ups to Ellen, who's not here yet. She should be joining us soon, but Ellen did a lot of the lift on that, drafted most of that language. And we got it circulated on our different parent leader chats and in Dojo. And we'll see if we can get a photocopy into some folders. But that kind of effort by us as parent leaders goes a long way, as you see. Even if it's just a few parents submitting letters to local officials, it kind of raises the flags that we needed to raise. So we're going to continue to do that with facilities, and hopefully we can continue to partner with the school staff and other District 1 parents and PTAs to talk about issues that we need to advocate for. Ed, was there any thoughts or questions about the facility advocacy work? Oh, right on time. There she goes. Ellen, we talking about you, girl. You must have heard a ringing in your ear.
Sorry.
I'll let you get situated, but we were kind of just doing a quick review and update on the facility advocacy work that you have been spearheading. So yeah, so we'll continue to do that stuff. We'll try to get some printouts. I know sometimes when we put stuff on Dojo, it can kind of get lost. So if you see us put it out a few times on Dojo or in our WhatsApp chats, don't treat it as spam. Just note that it's of importance if we're reposting it multiple times. Ellen, did you want to add anything? Darlene gave a big check-in on some of the updates going on, but if you wanted to add anything on and she also talked about, oh, go ahead.
Yeah, since Ellen doesn't know, I just wanted to fill her in. So Ellen, today I met a brand new cleaner that was assigned to our building for the evening. So we definitely had one person that was assigned to the building tonight when we had no people assigned at all. We were borrowing people from other buildings. And then I'm going to find out tomorrow whether or not there was a second cleaner assigned in the evening. I didn't have a chance to check for two, but I know for sure I met one this evening who was very lovely and, asked specifically around what my expectations were, which was great. And then this morning I met a cleaner who was being interviewed to be part of the daytime shift. And so that would mean that we would have two people during the day. And then my hope is that we'll have two people during the evening. I'll be able to confirm that later on this week. But I just wanted to say that just the little bit of advocacy that's happened already has made that huge shift. And as I said before, in 3 days, we've had more movement than we've had in 2 years. So it's going great so far. And so we're going to keep doing what we're doing because the sub pump is now our next priority.
That's awesome. I apologize in advance for the background noise. I just had to try to pop in someplace inside because it's too cold to be outside. And if I go home, I'm going to get attacked by my kid because I haven't been home all day. So, but yeah, I heard back from Carlina Rivera's office and actually just responded and CC'd you, Darlene, so that we can hopefully, and let her know also that Sean has connected with Harvey Epstein. So hopefully we can get some of that moving in terms of the sump pump too.
Awesome. All right, cool. So just a picture day kind of review and update. So we had our picture day, I guess it was 2 weeks ago now. It was our first time working with this new company. and it was a big success in our minds. We were very grateful to the company. They were extremely flexible with scheduling and also with granting us a bunch of complimentary packages for families in need. And really just like, there was like a couple of like logistical hiccups in the beginning because it was our first time working with them and them with us. So we were trying to iron that out, but we got into a really good flow by the middle of the day. Thank you to everyone who, all the parents who volunteered day of. There was like 6 or 7 of us. It was great to be in the school and all that kind of stuff, but also it was really, really helpful, and everyone played a good role. There was questions about the group class. So all the kids and the teachers, there was confusion like last minute. One of the office people at their office that's new gave wrong information to Shy. And so we didn't know until day of that they were definitely going to do all the pictures of every single child. So those are going to be taken and put into a group composite. That's one reason why they took the picture of every child and of teachers. But also this company is really cool. They keep all of the photos on file for 10 years. And so they're going to, at the end of this week, I think they said, is going to share this link that has all the images for our school. So parents can, one, go in there and say, oh, like I didn't really like the picture that y'all selected, pick this picture. But also, more importantly, if parents weren't able to get their money in on time for whatever reason, they can order after the fact, or order additional packages in addition to the one that they got, which is really awesome. And so we're excited about continuing to work with this company. We're even planning out some, we're doing graduation, 5th grade graduation class pictures. So we're going to be scheduling that for the fall. So for the spring. So a special day only for 5th graders and the 5th grade teachers doing, cap and gown pictures, but also getting like, if we can, out in the courtyard, group pictures, 5th graders having fun, throwing up their hats, all that kind of stuff. So we'll iron out those details as it gets closer. We also, teachers, put some hands on your ears. We're thinking of surprising our teachers with staff picture day. And so for teacher appreciation. So they're really excited to partner with us on all that stuff. In terms of timetables, so they haven't given us the exact date, but they did say they're definitely going to get us the pictures that were ordered, that everyone who got the orders in prior or day of, they will get those in before the holiday break. In terms of a retake day, people have asked about, or like a absent day, like if you were absent the day of picture day, we're trying to schedule something in early January where they come in for like an hour or 2 and do those pictures. But of course, those won't get to you until after the holiday break. Was any
I have a question.
Yeah.
So a few years ago, whatever group company we did it, they were able to, I don't know if we paid for it or not, give us a huge poster of the whole school, of all of the kids, individuals of the whole school. It would look really cute, and all the kids like loved looking at it. I was wondering if there was something like that they'd be able to do to like put downstairs.
Yeah, that sounds great. We'll hit them up and
really
we'll
cute.
ask. Yeah, like a full school composite kind of thing.
Yeah, that they did that a few years ago, many years ago at this point, but it was so cute.
If there's a cost for that, the school could pay that cost.
Awesome, cool. All right, so we'll inquire. I'm sure they can make it happen.
We have the perfect bulletin board on the first floor for it too.
Nice. Cool. All right, awesome. If anyone thinks of any questions, go ahead and ask them in the chat, or we can do it at the end too. All right, the next thing that's on the agenda is our clothing swap. So we talked about this briefly last meeting, but we offline in our committee meetings for our fundraising committee, and also Jenny, who's part of the fundraising committee, but also has a partnership at a local community center called the Lower East Side Center, where we did the turkey drive, where 20-star families were eligible to get turkeys. So they've been working together and coordinating, and we finally got a clothing swap scheduled. So it's going to be happening, and we're going to put on details on Dojo and stuff, but it's going to be happening on December 18th, which is a Saturday. It's going to be happening from 10:30 a.m. to 2 p.m. And so what this is basically parents can donate if they want, lightly used clothes, clean, lightly used clothes. All the clothes will be sorted by size, not by gender. They'll be sorted by size. And basically, any SART parent and really even local community parents who hear about it will be able to come in and take as many clothes as they want for their kids. So this is one, it's great because a lot of us as parents know the struggle of getting rid of clothes. Not all of us have like big family networks where you can pass it to your cousin and the smaller sibling. Not all of us have that. And then also too, you know, clothes are expensive, and you know, some people need that support to be able to access that kind of service. So it's a win-win. And we've done it before independently of the school, and it was a great success. So we're really excited to do it as a PTA. Jenny, of course, is coordinating and leading that. And we're going to be having a drop-off prior to the day. So drop-off, we'll also be posting this, will be happening from this December 13th through the 15th, from 10 to 6 each of those days. And so basically parents can come, drop it off, and then we'll schedule a day. We haven't determined which day we're going to do it because that community center is having some events before the 18th, but we're going to schedule a day where we can get a couple parent volunteers to do some pre-sorting, so it's not too much work day of. We do need a crew of volunteers for the actual day of December 18th. I think we have 2 or 3 volunteers right now, including a TNS parent who is the wife of the director at the center. But we need, like, you know, another 5 volunteers. So if you're available on December 18th for any of that, you know, that 10 to 2 p.m. time slot, just let Jenny know. Again, we're going to be posting on Dojo. There'll be more details, a cool graphic to go with it. But yeah, and if anyone has any questions, you can ask now.
Is it just kids or kids, adults?
So we're just doing kids, grade school kids. But we did talk about doing a adult coat drive, like also receiving coats. Because also at the end, basically any of the clothes that are not distributed, we're gonna donate it to a local charitable service. And that's why we were thinking that code drive thing too. Jenny, did we ever figure out if we wanted to do the code drive component?
For the adults. So a few details have changed from what you spoke about. So for the actual swap, it will be winter items. So you could also bring boots. Obviously you can bring t-shirts and things like that, but it's going to be winter, like a winter clothing swap with also a holiday component. So if you also have like holiday gear, like from years past, because I know Kaya has lots of beautiful dresses that she only wore once for like holiday purposes, bring those items as well. So we kind of wanted to keep it centered around just those items right now, because in the midst of winter, gloves, hats, scarves, things like that, boots are also part of the swap. So definitely if you have those items, bring them. We will have, I saw in the chat, Chris talked about that she's bringing Maya. We will have a kids corner where there be activities for those of us who do have to bring our children. There will be a kids corner where there'll be someone there doing activities and, you know, probably arts and crafts with the kids of the parent volunteers that are gonna be coming. We also, I don't know if Sean mentioned, because I'm also cooking, we will have a holiday photo booth set up in the center. So there will be opportunities for people who are coming to also take holiday photos for a small donation. And we'll be selling hot cider and cookies, just passively trying to raise some funds, but majority of the focus is on the swap. So if you are interested, let me know. We do need some volunteers, like Sean said. And I saw, Ms. Stein, you put that you want to get the teachers involved. We can connect. Just let me know what it is that you need and we can figure it out.
Yeah, I mean, I know that personally I have loads of stuff to send in, so I'm sure that other teachers will as well.
And if people can't bring it to the center, I mean, I know that the days are from the 13th to the 15th, from 10 to 6 p.m. Like if teachers are bringing stuff to the school, let me know. We can coordinate probably picking up to make it a little bit easier in that sense. So we can talk about that offline as well.
I have a question. Is that okay? Can I ask? It's okay. Yeah. So my concern with only when people give away clothes and stuff like that, whether it's for summer or whatever, is that sometimes people just want to get rid of stuff that really shouldn't be given away. It should be actually thrown away. So is there going to be some kind of like, make sure it's recently washed, no stains, not ripped, not, because, like Jenny, like when I give stuff away, it's stuff,
Yeah,
no stains, it looks almost brand new.
good
and
quality.
like, I think somewhere in whatever that's information that's going out, that should be emphasized. Because
Yeah,
like I said, everybody has their own idea of what to give away. Some people give away like, oh, this is, I want my, extra space in my closet back, but it's not necessarily something that should be given away. You should probably just toss it.
No,
So
yeah, that's a good point. In our flyer and our posts and also in the survey, we will be making a strong, points of please, nothing that is like holy or has stains, like good condition, gently worn. I'll be taking some language that my local consignment shop uses to post in, so people can understand, like if they do send it in, we will also be sorting through the clothes and items 2 days before the event. So yeah, use the phrase gently used so that people know, what, I don't know if they don't know what that means and they have a question, they can, message us, but we will be making an emphasis on that. And also for the volunteers, just so y'all know, you must be fully vaccinated to get into the center. It's just something that they did ask me to mention. And also for people who will be coming to the swap, they will be checking vaccination.
Yeah, that vaccine mandate is citywide now. Another thing is we got to figure out how to do it in the language of the flyer, but we also want to make it known to all the parents here, and as you're spreading the word, that it's not a mandate that people have to bring stuff in order to take stuff. You can come and donate nothing and receive as much as you want. There's no limit. There's no like 2-bag limit. Take as much as you need and don't feel obligated to make any donations or contributions. So we'll make sure that's in the language somehow, but that's really, really important for us on the equity front, that people understand that. Okay.
yeah, because the word swap, the word swap is indicative, like, you can't take unless you give. So
yeah, so we gotta figure that out. Maybe yeah, we'll figure it out. Cool. All right, thanks Jenny, thanks to the fundraising crew. And next on the agenda we have SLT report. So I know we have a couple members of SLT on here. Anybody want to kind of report in? We had our SLT meeting yesterday. Chris, Darlene, Mimi.
I can start, and then if Mimi wants to jump in, she can jump in. So we had our SLT meeting last night. It was a great meeting. We had an opportunity to really think about how to get more parents engaged in SLT. We had some families that were able to, so some of our teachers did some research looking at former SLT members. They looked at SLT members from our district, a variety, and then they surveyed our own SLT families. And we were able to get a lot of great feedback around some of the things we can do to improve SLT to attract more families. And so we talked about not using as much heavy teacher language and acronyms, and really thinking about ways to incentivize the meeting, whether it's providing parents with some sort of important piece of information or a mini workshop where they might learn something that might support our CEP goals around supporting your child reading at home or supporting your child as a mathematician. And so we kind of got into a deep conversation around how we can engage our families more. Then we talked a little bit around our CEP, which is our comprehensive educational plan. It's a school-wide plan that our school leadership team, which is what the SLT is, puts together, and they come up with goals that we'll use as a school throughout the entire year. So we talked about our math goals specifically. We talked about iReady, which is an assessment that we've been using, that we've just started using this year to assess students in math. And so this was something that we actually launched last year using some Title I funds. And so now this year, we're actually continuing to work with the iReady assessments to support small groups in the classroom. And that we're actually putting even more funds towards using iReady this year with some of our, with basically all of our grades K-5 in math, and some grades in ELA, grades 3 to 5. So we're really excited about that. And then we talked about technology. So we have 200 Chromebooks that we've received through a grant from the city. So we, in anticipation of possible classroom closures, and also really thinking about the idea of equity and ensuring that our students have some more technological savvy as they kind of grow up in this modern age. We want to distribute the Chromebooks to each child. We have enough for every child in the school to receive a Chromebook. And so we're working right now on integrating the Chromebooks to include the apps that we'll need, or to make sure that the Wi-Fi is accessible, the hotspots are accessible. We'll be asking families to come in and actually pick up a device for their child and sign off on a release form, an authorization form, kind of accepting responsibility for the device. And we're really excited to, ensure our kids will have a device at home, not only in case there's a classroom closure because of COVID, but also because we want, especially our upper grade students, to start really utilizing technology as much as possible. And so that's something that we also talked about last night. I think that was pretty much everything. I'm not sure if there was anything I'm missing. We talked about facilities, which you talked about tonight, very similar to the conversation that, that we've been having for the past month or so. Mimi, was there anything else that I missed?
I think that's mostly it. I think that one thing that we were also talking about was having more SLT members come to PTA meetings and really become involved in the PTA more. So we're going to get most likely a rotation started where at least one staff member or SLT member will be coming to the PTA meetings. So, we want to be there for you as much as you are for us. So please feel free to reach out to either myself or Miss Isaac or anyone on the team. And yeah, I think that was it. It was a really wonderful meeting.
And we're recruiting more families. So if you want to join us at our next SLT meeting, the next meeting is January, maybe I'm testing us.
Okay.
January 10th.
Oh, man.
Monday, January 10th at 6 p.m. I'm sorry, 5:30. So we hope that you can join us there. There will be a link on Class Dojo if it's not there already.
Yeah, it's there already. I'm also gonna try to post the agendas ahead of time, so that families can see what's gonna be discussed.
Awesome
I have a
too.
question.
Oh, go ahead, Mikey.
I have a question about the curriculum. Any thoughts on perhaps down the road, or maybe 3 months from now, kind of doing a curriculum night for the parents and the teachers kind of present, this is what we're doing for the kids in first grade or second grade, first through fifth grade, and kind of having a curriculum night where the teacher will kind of present, it could be maybe 5 minutes or so, kind of saying, this is what we're doing for math, and this is how we're going to utilize the Chromebooks, and this is what we're thinking for, reading, just kind of giving parents a little more of an insight. Because sometimes I feel like parents, or myself too, speaking for myself, that I don't know much of what's going on. Last year I did, where given that the teachers are sending us what we need to do for our kids, but I think this would be a good way also to engage parents and kind of be more willing to participate in these meetings if we know, okay, this is going to be curriculum night and this is part of what the SLT team does for our kids.
Darlene, I don't know about you. I think that's a really fantastic idea. I think for sure we'll put it on the agenda for the next meeting, and it's, coming up soon. So I think in some way, shape, or form, I think that would be great. We used to do this more often before COVID, but I think this might be a great reminder to get them started again.
Yeah, it just
That's a
feels
great
like there's
idea.
like life before COVID and life after COVID. Before COVID, curriculum night was something that we did, absolutely every single year. And you're
Yeah.
right. We've kind of lost touch with that over the past 2 years. So that is something that as soon as you said it, I was like, yeah, we used to do that. And so, yeah, thank you for bringing that up and surfacing that. That is something that we look forward to that every year. And that's something that we can do within an SLT meeting, or even like multiple meetings. Like we can say, this SLT meeting in January, we're going to focus on reading. Our SLT meeting in February, we're going to focus on math. And so I think those are ways that we can actually incentivize our meetings and make them more interesting to families and more relevant. So thank you for bringing that up.
Absolutely, thank you.
I also want to add that, I'm sorry, I was looking at like the archives of like Title I meetings or Title I activities to increase parent involvement. And that's actually one of the options that was given, curriculum night, learning about what your kids should know and how to help them. And I thought it was a great idea when I read it, and I'm so glad that it was brought up, because I don't know, we probably can't do it on site, but it still needs to be done somehow.
Nicole, did you want to add something?
Yeah, no, I remember when we did it, like when Jonathan was younger, and it was great. And I was just thinking of it like today when I was looking at fifth grade division and how it is completely a different way of learning fifth grade division. I remember at the time, the older parents were like, yeah, fourth and fifth grade math is really different. I think that was one of the things the teachers did as like one of the parent engagement things that we can like check off was for the teachers to kind of do a quick, it was in-person meeting, but I'm sure they could do it on Zoom to kind of like run through for the parents how the math is taught, because I know, it's tough. We're trying to help our kids, but we're also confusing them as well when we're trying to teach them. And I think the latest guidance has been like, don't worry about it, we'll handle it in class. So I think that would be like a really good help.
Nicole, you're dating us, because that was when Jonathan was in my class. Something I think we could also really work to get through to parents. I think that's fantastic. We've had a few parents like writing notes, and I think that's coming back, like the personalized notes or a quick message on Dojo. Please explain, because as teachers, I think we get so involved with things that we might forget to go through the latest strategy. So I think that, an SLT meeting might be a great time, to go over these strategies, maybe in breakout rooms and stuff like that.
We could do breakout rooms by grade level, which would be really targeted towards families, exactly what they want,
All right, awesome. Sounds great. I'm gonna close this item though, because now we're getting into brainstorm mode, which is good, but just to keep us going, I'm gonna move us over to committees. And then when we're done, we can continue that conversation if we have some further ideas, or if you want to jot them down, send them over to Mimi or Darlene. So getting into committees, so we have a couple committee reports before the report. So I just wanted to let folks know if you weren't plugged into this stuff yet. So we have our general meeting once a month. It's only 90 minutes once a month, but really, this is not where the work happens. The work happens for the PTA throughout the month, organizing for events, you know, putting posts on Dojo, like, you know, picture day. I think a lot of parents are surprised that that is like, you know, 90% PTA ran with the support of, you know, our staff, and Shai was a big support, but that is a PTA event and that takes a lot of work. And so I know it's hard for all of us, right? Like all of us as parents, it's hard for us to think about adding work on, but I always want to encourage parents to contribute in whatever capacity you can. So we have our general meeting that happens once a month. Then we have our committees that meet when needed, but we also this year started WhatsApp group chats. So we have a WhatsApp group chat for all our parent leaders. So if you just want to be in the know and hear what's going on, plug in when you can. You don't even have to, you know, like reply on the chat. You could just observe it and kind of be in the know of the day-to-day kind of strategies that the PTA is doing. Let us know. And then for every committee, we also have committee chats. And it's important too, I think, Nimi and Darlene, as I report back to the teachers, that, you know, we're a PTA. We're not a PA. We're not a parents association. We're a parent teachers association. And I really hope that we can get back to the culture where this is, you know, not just one or two teachers, but like the majority of our teachers that have the capacity and bandwidth to jump on, and that we have the committees. The committees are not just parents, the teachers. We want teachers on the committees. Last year we had Mrs. Wolf, our librarian, as part of our book fair committee. And it was just great to have that insight in the school. So in any case, enough getting, you know, on my high horse about this, but try your best you can to link up with the committee. Let us know which one you're interested in. As you're hearing the reports, think about, oh, maybe this is something I want to plug into, parents and teachers alike. So getting into it then, we'll get into our fundraising committee, and we'll hear from our chair, Maggie, if you're available. I don't know if you're there. I'm gonna have to step away. Maggie, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Sorry. I'm just like multitasking. I'm still working too. All right. So what do we have going for fundraising? We have the winter bake sale coming up, December 16th and the 17th. So we'll be selling coffee, hot chocolate. I know Jenny has ran this event before, so I'm going to lean on her a lot. But definitely, I'm excited that, you know, this is happening. It's one of the events that we kind of do pull in a lot of funds. So hoping that that would be the same this year. Again, like Sean mentioned, we do need parents' help. So anybody that has time in the morning before drop off, I know some parents hang out a little bit, you know, for those 15, 20 minutes. So we welcome, you know, parents to come in and help us out. There is going to be a sign-up sheet that would be sent. It's going to be sent out after this call. And we do need volunteers for December 15th from 1 p.m. to 2:30 p.m. Just to prepare tables and kind of get everything together. So anyone that's available, just let me know, or Jenny as well, or Sean. So we are asking parents also to donate some baked goods. So we're asking parents to, of course, package the baked goods. So anyone wants to show us their, you know, bake expertise, please make sure. If you want to donate, you know, we're happy to take that in. That's what we have going on in December. We have tons of ideas for fundraising. I think my head is just like spinning a lot with what else we can do for the kids, for the family, for the community. There's a lot of things that I have in mind. I know that Shai and I spoke for probably an hour. So we were just bouncing off ideas of things that we can do. We're thinking about Spirit Day too. That we're just trying to find a vendor. I know we talked about that, Shai. I don't know if Shai's on the phone right now, but we spoke about that too, kind of spirit wear and what vendors, and that would be a good way for a good fundraiser for parents to buy hoodies or shirts. And then we have, I think it was, what's the one that we talked about? I think it was not the book sale. I'm drawing blank. What's the, let me see my notes here. The readathon, there you go. You read my mind, good. Hold on, let me see if I can turn my video. Okay, the readathon, yes. So that's something that we'll also have in mind. So yeah, so lots of good things. I mean, you know, the parents that are here, please, you know, reach out. We're looking to just kind of really kick it off this year with fundraising, and we're looking for any ideas, any support. You know, I want the kids to have a great time in the school as well as teachers. So whatever, you know, teachers, you need support, just reach out to us. We're here to help. You know, if we need a specific fundraiser, you know, we're happy to do that as well.
Yes, and to just
Like
add
that.
to
What was the
Oh.
date for the cookie sale or bake sale?
December 16th and 17th, Thursday and Friday.
16th and 17th. Okay.
And just to add logistically, so because people have probably seen the bake sale in the past, it's going to be outdoors, so that's something to keep in mind when you're volunteering to bundle up for that. And also too, kind of like COVID considerations. So like while we're on the table, we're going to be wearing masks, we're going to be wearing gloves, we're going to be switching out gloves, have everything prepackaged. We're going to have no one can grab from the table. It will only be the people who are volunteering, managing that, putting things in brown bags, Ziploc bags, all that kind of stuff. So if anyone's kind of like, you know, their COVID radar is going out, don't worry about that. We're taking that into a lot of consideration.
Yeah, thanks for mentioning that.
For sure.
Thank
And
you
then
for
also,
sharing, Maggie, I'm sorry. I'm in 2 PTA meetings. I'm in my daughter's school's PTA meeting. So if you see me nodding too much, I'm nodding to both of you, but I promise. So
You're
thank
fine.
you, Maggie, for sharing.
All good, thank you.
and
Who do
Maggie,
we let know
I
if we
saw,
want to donate stuff?
We're going to have a survey right after this call. We're just trying to put it together. We're going to send it out, and we're just going to have to fill it out. You're going to fill out the form, and then it goes through, I think, Survey Monkey. I don't know if you have access to that, Sean, right? Because I don't have access to that, so probably will go to you.
we could forward it to you though. I can set that up. But yeah, it goes to me right now.
Of course.
I was gonna ask, I know I saw in the fundraising chat that there was some applying for grants possibly and stuff like that. Did we make any progress on any of those, or?
Yeah, so the Walmart grant, and thanks Shai for the actual, well, no, that was a donation letter. I'm getting those two confused. No, yes, because I'm looking at the donation letter that Ms. Arlene signed today. So thanks Shai for helping with that. But yes, I'm looking to submit with Walmart, hopefully before the end of December. So we can probably get $500 to $5,000. So we have to just put that together and go over exactly what we need to put, who we need to put as a contact, and kind of just do a little write-up for a grant. So crossing my fingers, we get something from that.
Awesome. Thank you so much. All right, cool. So yeah, so if anyone's interested in the fundraising committee and supporting on that stuff, you can of course reach out to Maggie, and we'll get you set up. So the next committee we're going to hear from is the Garden Committee. Ellen, you want to check in?
Give me 1 second because I'm going to step outside so you guys are not like part of the club. Sorry.
No worries. So maybe she looks like she's walking out right now. In the chat, someone asks, oh, Chris asks, can we donate purchase baked goods? Definitely can purchase baked goods. And in fact, you know, that might ease the process on us having to package things after the fact. You know, like we're gonna be coming in the day prior and doing a couple of that prepackaged stuff. But if you could buy purchase goods and also stuff that's individually packed, that would go a long way. All right, Ellen, you got the floor.
Thank you. So garden right now, our major focus is like over the next couple of weeks, getting into the classrooms or having classes come outside into the garden if we can catch a mild day potentially, to plant paper white bulbs. So it's something I guess that's been done like both TNS and STAR by the garden the last couple of years, and it's been like pretty well received on both ends. So we're really hoping that teachers that have participated in the past will be able to, will be interested in doing it again, and then also getting, more teachers in classrooms on board, just to kind of keep like, something living in the classroom. It's fragrant. It's a process that the kids can kind of like, take and own a little bit themselves, like keeping the water level. And then ideally, we're doing it now so that when they come back from break, then they are starting to see the blooms. So that's been like most of our focus, other than just kind of like work in the garden, getting ready for the winter, and starting to just kind of like lay a little foundation for like how we can continue to partner with classes and understand like, what some of the educational needs and or opportunities may be for, for using the garden for what it really should be, which is like a learning garden. So that's really it. The email to teachers should go out tomorrow. Darlene, I sent it to you just a little bit ago, probably, and Dianthe. So, and we're going to be sending the emails directly to the teachers that have participated in the past, just so they can kind of have like that direct message. There's a survey for the teachers also that will go, that they can complete, just so that we can kind of figure out our time. And then once we have a sense of the timing for the teachers, we are going to be looking potentially for some parents to help, vaccinated parents that can either go into the classroom or help us out in the garden, even if you're not vaccinated. So sorry.
Be careful, Ellen.
More concerned about your safety than anything. Like
the pizzeria sounds lit right now.
Just the neighborhood, Sorry.
That must have been some good pizza.
I guess the club is better.
I was gonna ask Ellen, I know one of the questions we had in one of the chats was about if we had a science liaison on staff. I know Jody has kind of played this role in the past. Darlene, is there like a science focused teacher?
We don't really have a science focused teacher. We have all of our teachers are teaching science. And so, that's where we're at. But yeah, I mean, I'm more than happy to share the email that Ellen is sending to the teachers separately. Like I'm also going to be sending it to the teachers as well from, so on behalf of the garden committee.
Last night on the SLT meeting, there was one teacher that posted or shared a link to like it's kind of like a special education related garden and nutrition workshop, and I couldn't remember who posted that. We're trying our best, I think, to like for like one of the members of the garden committee to be able to attend that. And thank you, Sean, for putting that in there. And yeah, I mean, I wonder if that might be an opportunity to like start to partner with someone, with the teacher that, if any of the teachers are interested in attending that as well, or even like kind of receiving the feedback from those of us that are able to attend.
Ms. Stein and I can definitely look into sending that out to folks and seeing if they'd be interested in participating, and also being available for kind of a debrief after those people who do attend go.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much. All right, Ellen, thank you so much too for making time in the pizzeria for us. Next on the agenda, we have Book Fair Committee. I don't know if Jenny available? Yeah. All right, cool. She was just running around, so I didn't know if she was settled. Go for it.
Okay, so in regards to our virtual book fair, it was a pretty good I guess success. And we almost reached our goal. So we reached about 75% of our goal for this virtual book fair. So we were able to generate about a little over $1,200 towards the book fair sales goal. So 25% of that 1,200 we'll see as Scholastic rewards in our accounts. I don't know when they will put it in there, but it just cleared, and I got an email from our Scholastic book representative actually this afternoon, so I'll respond to her. But outside of that, I thought it was really good. We started off a little slow, but momentum built over the holiday, and we were able to see a nice little push with extending it for the 3 extra days. But I hope that those people who ordered, I know there was the supply chain issue is still going on, and I did get an alert from the book representative that there will be some delays. So if teachers, parents, if they have questions and stuff like that, you can have them email the PTA or shoot me a message. But they should receive their things, I think, by mid-January. That's what I was told. Outside of that, that is all I have in terms of the report for the Scholastic Book Fair. So thank you everybody who did were able to support. We really appreciate it. And we're looking at hosting our next fair, hopefully in person in May. So we'll see. I'll keep everyone posted once I find out more details, and talk with staff and Shy and see what we can figure out. If anybody has any questions, let me know. But that's pretty much it for now.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you so much. Yeah, we talked about possibly, how we get they put the books in those carts, in those bookshelf carts, actually like wheeling them out into the courtyard, or trying to figure out some hybrid way to do it, because we really miss our in-person book fairs. It's hard to replace them with a virtual experience. But we talked about it in the chat, but kudos to Jenny. Jenny, point person on our book fair. Jenny, the point person on picture day. Jenny, the point person on the clothing swap. So a big lift from Jenny on a lot of stuff for PTA. So just a lot of credit, but also a call to other parents to jump in and support and plug in where you can. But thanks, Jenny, for all that hard work. Okay.
Wait, sorry, I don't want to interrupt, but I did forget, because Cheryl was mentioned, our librarian. She still is on the book fair committee. She's just at a smaller capacity, but I do talk to her every now and again, and she did want me to mention, because she's not able to get on this call, that we will have a story time with Cheryl next Wednesday, 12:15. From 7 to 7:30. She's working on getting the dojo post up with the Zoom credentials. But again, she will have a story time, an evening thing from 7 to 7:30 next Wednesday. So look out for that post online for a story time with Cheryl.
Awesome. All right, cool. Next, we'll go into the Wellness Committee. Chris, you got the floor.
Thank you. Our wellness event was very chilly because it was outside in the garden, but I think we came out with some really great ideas on how we can heal as a community. It was just a really great time for us to get some space for ourselves. And what we need to do is now get these ideas from the paper into fruition. So I think what we started to talk about yesterday in the SLT and talking about now today in the PTA, how we need to come together, have parents come to the SLT, have teachers come to the PTA, and then move forward with getting any of these activities done is for everyone to do it together. So one of the major ideas that came out was from one of the parents was to do a quilt, and we would do it. We still had a couple of ideas of how to do it, whether it was going to be on canvas, whether it was going to be on paper, but each classroom would have their own quilt, and then we would piece it together, and it would be a school quilt, which I think is a beautiful idea. Every single child would have their own piece. Every single classroom would then have their own piece, and then we would all come together. So that's something that we could start at home. It would go into the classroom, and then it would come together all that we could all do as a group. So we just want to put that out there now. We'll figure out the logistics later, but it'll probably be something more towards February, March.
Okay, awesome. And yeah, another thing too, you know, Chris again is our wellness ambassador, which is a DOE initiative where she got trained up. She went to classes to help support as our wellness ambassador. Out of the 20 schools in our district, I think only 4 or 5 actually followed through on the training. And I think Chris, you know, if I'm not mistaken, I think the commitment was only to do like 1 or 2 wellness events in a year. And Chris has kind of committed to doing more, has already delivered 2 in just the fall. So hats off to Chris for all that hard work. I mean, like she had printouts ready for us. You know, we was doing stuff on a dry erase board. It was a really well put together event. All right. Cool. So moving along. So speaking on the committee topic, there's 2 committees that we so each month we've been trying to push to form one of our new committees, and there's 2 committees that we've been pushing for that we're trying to find folks for, and I'm just going to quickly describe what they are. The first is our budget committee. Our budget committee is the committee that puts together the plan basically of like how much we want to raise in a school year and for what. So it's you know, like where are we going to use all these fundraising dollars to, you know, what classrooms are we going to support, what facility issues, what materials, what assemblies are we going to try to curate, all that kind of stuff. So the budget committee puts together the proposal to submit to us, the PTA, for us to vote on. It happens twice a year that the budget committee does this, in January and then again in May, June, to prep for the following year. And so we're looking to form the budget committee. Also too, in kind of the spirit of the conversation we've been talking about tonight, one of the things that we talk about with the budget committee is, in addition to our executive board meetings with Darlene and Jody, who's on maternity leave, which we, you know, kind of check in and see what ways that we can collaborate with the staff. We also want to see if we can set up a meeting with our executive board or our budget committee to meet with the teachers and to see what their needs might be. For instance, one of the first grade classes did a crowdsourcing campaign for stuff that they wanted to get for the classroom. And we didn't find out until like, you know, much later when it was nearing the end and they posted on Dojo. That's something that we could have collaborated on and kind of promoted and we ended up deciding to make a contribution to that. But we're trying to see if we can do more of that pre-planning when possible with the school to kind of sort out what we're raising money for. Because if we can define what we're raising money for, it's going to support our fundraising efforts. People are going to be more motivated to buy from the book fair when they know, hey, all that book fair money that we raised went to buying all those books at the end of last year that all your kids received. It helps. So that's the budget committee. The other committee is our membership committee. So this is the committee that kind of talks about recruitment, like how do we recruit more parents to the PTA? How do we recruit more teachers to the PTA? How do we get diversity on the PTA? Like we want to make sure we have parents from 3K all the way to 5th grade. I think I'm the only male identifying member on the PTA call tonight. Like how do we recruit more fathers and men onto the PTA? How do we make sure that if someone first language is Spanish or another language, how we make the meeting more accessible to them. So that's what the membership committee is focused on. So we're really trying to get that going, but we have been growing as a PTA. There's a lot more new members, but we want to continue that energy. So we're gonna be spreading the word on Dojo, and we talked about that committee survey, spreading the word on that and trying to recruit throughout December and then in January for those 2 committees, in addition to the ones that we already have. Any questions on the committees? All right, cool. So next we're gonna hear from Helen, who's our Title I chair. So the Title I is not technically a PTA committee, but it kind of an independent body, similar to like the SLT. So we're gonna hear from Helen tonight, but also too, if you like what Helen's saying and you want to collaborate, Helen's always looking for that support. So Helen, you get the floor.
All right, thank you. Hi, everybody. Good evening. So this will be really quick. I'm just gonna go really quickly over like what Title I is, because I don't want to just assume that everyone on the call knows. So Title I is a federal designation for low-income families in New York City. School eligibility for Title I funding is determined by the percentage of students at the school who are eligible for free lunch. Star Academy is a school-wide program, meaning that the purpose of the funds is to raise academic achievement for all students at the school, as opposed to like a smaller group of students. So basically, as the Title I chair, I'm supposed to have formed a committee, right? And then a committee of parents who have a say in how these funds are spent. And the funds are supposed to be spent to support the schools, the goals of the CEP. So as we discussed earlier, the CEP stands for the Comprehensive Education Plan. I'm gonna be really honest with you guys. Since October 2nd, my life has been really intense and stressful. So as far as holding meetings and forming a committee and so forth, that absolutely has not happened. However, we have deadlines and there's money to be spent there's money to be spent. As of right now, the funds left over from last year is $542. And then this year we have 1,092. So for a total of $1,634, we can use that money in order to increase parental engagement and to support the goals of the CEP. So what I wanted to do, well, what I did before them. Okay, I see a cat. Okay, I'm sorry. That was a cute little distraction. So what I did earlier today is I went through the archives of kind of like what was done pre-COVID and actually a couple years ago to support families, like whether it's family literacy or math literacy. And there were just a lot of different things that were done. As I mentioned earlier, curriculum night, whether exercise classes, cooking classes, stress management, music classes for adults, financial planning, anything that's health related, resume writing. So my question is now, based on everything that we discussed, I think this meeting, there's like a common theme that we want more parental involvement, whether it's in the SLT or the PTA and so forth. So what ideas do you think we can, like, what do you think we should use these Title I funds for? It's not a lot of money. It can support one of Chris's wellness events. It could support a curriculum night somehow, or like, what do you guys think we can use these funds for? I mean, like, I kind of like the idea of like the wellness events that Chris is doing. I don't know if you plan to do more of those when it gets warmer or so forth, because I think participation would be higher amongst the parents. So if anyone wants to jump in with any suggestions or so forth, I'm gonna mute myself now and see whether Darlene or Sean or anyone has anything to add.
Just, I think you kind of stated it beautifully in terms of showing the variety of options. I really appreciate you kind of looking to see what we've done in the past, because we really have had a gamut of all of those ideas: exercise classes, workshops that really help support families with resumes, or technology, learning about technology more. So it can be whatever families think they need. And sometimes there is a focus just on kids. Sometimes there's a focus just on parents. And then sometimes there's a combination of both, whether it's a cooking class or something that kids can engage with their parents together. So yeah, I think, Helen made did a great job of kind of explaining what the parameters are.
So like, for instance, you mentioned earlier that now the school has 200 Chromebooks to send home. And do you know when those are going to be sent home, like within the next month or two or so forth?
Yes, we're trying to do it within the next month to 6 weeks. But we're integrating the Chromebooks, which means like we're kind of hopefully setting them up for families over the next week or so, and then we're going to start asking families to come in and pick them up.
So maybe, I mean, I don't know how common this is, because everything I own is Apple. Anything Samsung or Chrome, like, that confuses me. What is being done as far as like to basically close the technology gap with what's being sent home, and then what if parents can't work the computer? Like, what if they don't understand? Because I think I'm gonna have an issue with the Chromebook.
We talked about that last night, actually, thinking about how can we help families to fill in that technology gap. And we thought about it in a couple of different ways. I mean, in the moment, we really thought more around sending out, a one-page flyer of like a how-to, but this idea of having an interactive, I'm kind of guessing you might be thinking about doing some sort of like interactive workshop, like a parent workshop. I mean, I think that's something that would probably be well received by families. And I think that there would be a lot of families who would want to participate.
Another thing I've spoken to Miss Angie today about actually was getting the students familiar with them as well, especially from 2nd through 5th grade, so they can be independent on them, making sure they're bookmarked. And so then the students can eventually teach the families as well. So that's so we're kind of getting it on both sides.
Okay, so then, and I think any instructions that go out to parents should also at least be in Spanish.
I think we'd have to do it in multiple languages, but I also think the idea of either some sort of, workshop, webinar, some sort of video kind of explaining in multiple languages would be something that, parents need. We talked about a one-page flyer because that was kind of our capacity, but maybe we do need to kind of consider something that's more interactive, like a workshop, or some sort of like office hours where, during parent engagement time every Tuesday, there's going to be a teacher available to kind of workshop things or troubleshoot things. So we can think about, what that can look like. I think that would be really a great use of Title I funds if that was something that, we wanted to do.
Okay, and I think Jenny, you raised your hand.
Yeah, I do have a question. Like, there might be like parents who are tech folks who that's what they do for work or things like that. I know Maggie, Alex, I know I just sent you a message. He's, may be able to assist. How would those funds, how does that work? Can a parent be paid to, if they are like, that's their realm of expertise, can they be paid to run these workshops, or does it have to come from, I don't know, like a licensed DOE vendor?
In the past, we have been able to pay parents. I have to remember, it was such a long time ago, I can't remember what the process was. I don't remember if the person was a DOE vendor. I don't remember if we issued them a check through the DOE, which is also, a process. But we definitely were able to hire a parent, because I remember this parent did a kind of a workshop on how to do your own taxes. And so that was something that was actually really well received. And she was a licensed CPA. And so we were able to kind of pay her hourly rate or something like that. So yeah, we could look into it. I mean, I'm sure, we have some time, because again, this is something that we can talk about, and we have enough time to kind of do it towards, a little bit later in the spring if we needed to, but we have plenty of time to do the research to be able to pay someone. And yes, I do think the more of a tech expert we had, the better, for sure. I would definitely say my teachers feel very strong in technology, but we would defer to somebody else's expertise on any given day.
I also like this idea of like us trying to hire parents or people from the community. Not that we can't hire from outside the community, of course, if we find somebody, but I think it's just like a great idea, like keeping that money internal and supporting folks.
And even
Thanks,
what you
Darlene.
just, I'm sorry. Yeah, thank you, Darlene. Because even what you just mentioned about like hiring like a CPA who's also a parent. I mean, we're upon tax season. And, with all of these child tax credits and so forth and everything, that would probably be great as well. I mean, I was a tax preparer, but I'm definitely not a CPA. So, and I know firsthand that it can be extremely confusing to a lot of people. So, okay. So thank you everybody for your feedback and for your input. After I get over this little hurdle I have right now, I have a few more days left of this quarantine. Let me tell you, I will be okay. I'm gonna get back on this Title I thing. Okay, thanks.
Thank you, Helen. We appreciate all the work you did. And always too, if folks ever feel like any PTA related stuff is like a burden and like, causing them stress, not saying that this did, but always, like let's support each other and be mindful of people's capacity and handing off task or whatever. So like Helen, I'm glad we were able to get you on the agenda tonight. Cool. So we have a couple more minutes here, 7 more minutes in the call. So we have some minutes for just general conversation ideas from parents, and also any questions that you might have. Another thing, I forgot to mention, before we get into that kind of open conversation, Maggie, there was a budget that we needed, right? We needed to approve a budget for our bake sale, $75, I think was the proposal, right? Like to get some upfront costs for materials and stuff. You're muted.
Oh, sorry. You for the bake sale?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think, right? 75 was what
Yes.
was discussed?
I think it was 75.
Okay.
Like for the paper goods and everything else, right? The paper goods, cups, and
Yeah, for any other miscellaneous like goods and things that we're gonna sell, and yeah, cups and things that we would need for day of. I mean, obviously we may not spend 75, but we just want to make sure that we have enough funds to be able to, you know, purchase a few things.
Yeah, and we always make all that back. Our bake sales historically have been one of our biggest fundraisers. So maybe we'll do, Kyla, I'm not sure how available you are. We might not need to do a vote. Maybe we'll just take from the floor. Is anyone opposed to approving a $75 budget to support our bake sale? Anyone opposed, you can make it known in the chat, or you can unmute yourself. Anyone opposed? All right, cool. So $75 approved to support the bake sale. All right, so sorry about that little smaller business. So just, yeah, anybody have any anything that they've been hoping to see from the PTA, or ideas of stuff that we can be doing that might have not been discussed tonight? Or any questions for anything that happened?
Hey, it's Nicole. Two questions. So the first goes back to the building facilities, and you know, just talking to family members that like work in plumbing, and how there's the water issue on the 4th floor, right? To get the water to the bathrooms and the water fountains. Does that affect like our sprinkler system? Like, do we have sprinklers on the 4th floor? So like, God forbid there was a fire, is it like a fire safety issue that like the water wouldn't reach the 4th floor? Like that was just something a family member, you know, bathrooms and water fountains are super important for cleanliness, but also like fire safety issue. Is that also something that we need to like raise when we're advocating for it?
You know, this is the first time that anyone's ever mentioned that. So I really appreciate that. I'm not sure if that impacts the sprinklers. I'm really not. That's something that I'm going to look into first thing in the morning and find out through our custodian and our head of facilities. Thank you for that, Nicole. I appreciate that.
My dad's a former steam fitter for police precinct, so he's retired. So like when we were telling him about it, you know, he's worked with the plumbers and the police precincts, and he's like, I'm more concerned about a fire issue. God forbid something were to occur on the 4th floor than, you know, cleanliness. Like you need to make sure like that's all up to code, and maybe that's, you know, another angle that we have to say, hey, like, God forbid, but it might not. He didn't know how the system's set up. You know, it's an older building, you know, every building is set up a different way, but that'll be a good question to ask just for that comfort level. So we have that covered. And then my other question was, you know, and this is just some ideas, like in terms of fundraising. I know 5th grade, a lot of fundraising was done in the past because they used to go on a trip, and I'm sure that trip is not an option this year, like last year. Was there anything else that they needed to fundraise for? So I know they used to do like the candygrams and Valentine's Day. I feel like we did the coin drive for them as well. So, you know, just kind of thinking ahead, this is my first time having a 5th grader. I thought that was all for the trip for like Washington. Just didn't know if there's anything else to kind of throw out there that we need to fundraise for, so we kind of like have it on our minds for next year.
Yeah, right. That's definitely, go ahead, darling.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say that's definitely stuff that the budget committee is gonna be discussing. We have historically, like you said, the Candygram has been our main fundraisers for 5th graders. We did raise a lot of money last year that we didn't get to use all of it to support the graduating class last year. We used some of it, but there's still some outstanding. We got to do the math on that. I'm sure we'll do another Candygram or something like that this year. Stuff we've talked about, just so that people know, if we can't do a field trip of some kind, which we might be able to. I mean, next spring, we might be able to do some form of a field trip outdoors. I definitely think that's likely. But even that, we talked about maybe like getting graduation, shirts for the 5th graders, maybe like a graduation ring. I don't know who's from the 90s, but we used to have rings like that. What happened to that? Stuff like that. We've talked about, like kind of like swag to celebrate, and also to like host some kind of end of the year party for the 5th graders. But
So we are
more
venturing
5th grade
out.
teachers, parents down to advocate for that.
That's true. That's true. We definitely want more 5th grade parents, and we are doing basically our first field trip of the year, our actual field trip. We're having our 5th graders go to Global Leaders Middle School to do a middle school trip and visit. And so that's going to be based on, family interest. Right now, we have around 10 families who've said they are interested. We're not going to force anybody to have their child attend, but we are venturing out for the first time at Star Academy since the pandemic. So we're really excited about that. So stay tuned for that, Nicole.
That's awesome.
I have a question for Darlene. Sorry. About the Chromebooks. If the child has a DOE tablet, iPad, will you guys still give the children a Chromebook?
So we're still talking about that because right now with the DOE iPad, that's something that there's some families who actually prefer having it. So we were going to reach out to those families that still have DOE devices and ask them if they want to swap what they have and trade it in or not. Does that answer your question?
It does. My concern was, as they said before, like we might have someone teach us how to use a Chromebook. Then the kids that wouldn't get a Chromebook would miss out on learning how to use that Chromebook. Does that make sense?
No, absolutely. I do think that, it's going to be great if all of the kids can have the same device. And we are, I think even in this meeting, trying to think about ways to support families and learning how to use a new device. But I think even when I think about our teachers, if we had to go remote, everybody having the same device would be really helpful. And we do, as Ms. Stein was saying before, want to give the kids a chance to actually use the Chromebooks and get used to them. So hopefully by the time they come home, the kids have actually had a few times to practice on it. But yes, we definitely want to keep in mind everything you're saying around making sure that we're supporting families and learning how to use a new device.
Thank you.
Awesome. All right, so we're at time. So if you have any other questions or comments, Darlene will drop her email in the chat, maybe. Cool. Darlene will put her email in the chat. I will also put my email. If you want to join any of our WhatsApp chats, so you can be more involved, even if it's just an observatory, is that the word? Way, then you can do that and let me know. Just email me and I'll set you up in the WhatsApp. And then this is our last general meeting before the holiday break. So if we don't see you on WhatsApp or at a different event or at drop off or something like that, happy holidays, happy Hanukkah to anyone that has celebrated. Happy holidays for the holiday break coming up. Happy New Year's, all that good stuff. And then we'll be reconvening in January for our general meeting on January the 11th at 6 p.m. So you can mark your calendars for that hot date. All right, y'all. So I'll see y'all soon.
And Sean and Maggie,
I'm
Mac
sorry.
wants to show you a picture. Mac wants to show you a picture.
Yeah,
Go
ahead, Lara.
Oh, sorry. Okay, I was just gonna ask about the bake sale that we're gonna do the questionnaire thing. So are you guys gonna email that, or what are we doing to sign up to donate goods?
We're gonna post the survey in Class Dojo, And then we'll send
Jojo,
it out.
okay,
And
perfect.
then we'll send it out to the listserv if you're on our email listserv as well. Thanks, Quisqueya.
Okay,
Thanks, everyone.
thank you, no problem. Have a
Thanks,
great night.
everybody. Thank you
Good
so
night.
much. Have a great night.
You're welcome. Good night. You too. Bye.
Good night.